So the next item that we're discussing is community outreach. Thoughts?
I think one of my thoughts on this one is that, Steve uses social media presence, and somebody should be our social media coordinator.
Social media presence in what way? What are you thinking? I mean, that's a nice broad term.
Facebook page.
I got a couple ideas.
I think we talked about
Yeah.
that. So that's good.
Yeah, a Facebook page, and somebody whose position involves some of this kind of electronic outreach that we've been talking about. Who, if we're looking for budget people out of communities, knows where to put that message to say, we're looking for volunteers to do X, to be on our, and it's because so many people get so much of their information these days through social media. I'm not one, but I know that it's the case.
No, like I said earlier, that both Netarts Community Club and the CAC just started their own websites.
Yeah.
And people are looking at them because it's new. So I don't know how, I need to get you information on who's doing what you're talking about. But, best practices, I think would be a good thing every once in a while. What are the kind of things that go down the drain that shouldn't? What can, what can't?
The other thing that's related to this topic is something that did come up at SDAO, which is having a clear point person for emergency communication. Like if we ever had a crisis in the plant, who's the media face?
Yeah, we can't do what happened last time with the pump station failure because I will admit the information went through Facebook, misinformation went through Facebook faster. And I think a lot of it was because people were guessing. They were just spreading what they were hearing. And I think if we had a Facebook presence at that time, I could have put something on there that would have been actual. So,
and a lot of other groups pick those up. And then it gets shared through the Netarts page or the Oceanside or the, things like that. So it does, you're still going to have disinformation, but it is a way to say we tried to correct that.
well, at least we could put out our facts. That's what they were saying at SDO, put out your facts, get those out there. And that was one of the big problems we had, I believe, with the community was that they were unaware. It came out out, not the Headlight Herald, but the Pioneer came out with Pioneer. And, but what I saw on Facebook was how fast it went through Facebook with misinformation.
Really fast.
Yeah, really fast. So, and I see stuff for the Netarts-Oceanside fire on there all the time. You guys put stuff on it goes through. I mean, you're always going to have the haters anyway that are going to put something negative on there.
Yeah.
But the only ones that were posting stuff on there back in that time on Facebook were the oyster farmers were the only ones posting stuff on there.
Now, do we have the labor to do that? I mean, is there somebody
So just
in-house?
logistically, just to let you know, the Facebook page has to be tied to someone's personal page. So the fire department is tied to my personal Facebook account. They do not allow, I've not been able to find any way that they allow for like standalone NOSD Facebook. So, so it would have to be tied to Dan's or Aaron's or.
Couldn't we find that out from who's on the website now? Streamline. We can contact Streamline to see if that's something, at least it is, because they'll make sure that we're meeting all regulations and laws too.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're gonna know about Facebook.
Well, I'm willing to bet you they know.
They have some kind of social media program,
Yeah.
probably.
I personally don't want it tied directly to mine, but I don't know. Does it affect your personal?
No, it's two separate pages, but it has to be tied to an account.
Right.
And then so, you know, SDAO may have a social media guru. I don't know.
Oh.
But I know that's been a big topic of concern, not just with like fire districts, but with water districts, sewer districts, things about like having a PIO and information that goes out over Facebook. So they may, SDAO may have.
City of Tillamook has Facebook. There's just about everybody does now.
Yeah.
And it's the best way to actually get information out.
We get a lot more traffic to Facebook than we do to our webpage.
Yeah, I was
Our
gonna,
webpage is kind of like,
website should not be our information source.
No.
Day to day or news or anything. It's too much work. It's fun to Facebook blogs are much better.
everybody has it on their
So
phone.
let's check with Streamline. Let's check with SDAO.
So, okay, where are we gonna go with this? Explore the options and come back to the board with something in 60 days with where we might go? Or what do you, I mean, because if we just say, yeah, we need some social media, yeah, we need to be on Facebook a year from now, well, what do we do? Well, we're not there yet, but we're going to get there. So, I mean, what is the consensus of the group as far as timing on eventually making a determination as to what we need to do?
What's realistic for you guys on top of all your other things you have?
Well, I think this wouldn't require a lot of effort to find out. So I think we could have something on the agenda for next board meeting. We don't have to necessarily do it on a workshop, but I think that's a pretty easy to do.
Is there
Because we have the answer.
somebody in the office whose job description could include sort of overseeing social media?
Let's find out what it takes first. Then we'll get into what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
You're asking them to buy a pig and
Well, you have 9 employees. Out of the 9, I'm sure we could.
So we're talking what,
Training.
I
April?
was just thinking
Social
that
media
that's a formal part of somebody's job description.
Why don't we cross that bridge to find out first what we have to do?
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Because we may be able to pay Streamline to do
Yeah.
something like
What
that.
do we just report on social media?
Yeah, we'll give the board at the April board meeting, what we find out and update information on how we can go about this.
And the goal,
Isn't it?
what I'm hearing is the reason we're doing this is because there are things that sometimes we want to communicate to the community and preempt gossip and other.
And it's also, I hate to bring this up, so I just put to bed, but it's also a good source. of job.
So, do we leave this open and then change the content of it to social media?
Well, the community outreach also includes some of the stuff we were talking about.
Just so then leave it in?
So why don't we just make it an agenda item, John, for next month's board meeting?
Okay, but
And
what are
what's-
we gonna do with this item? Leave it open?
I think it's,
I think we need to leave it
I
open.
think this one has to stay open.
And we should not overlook the fact that what was specifically discussed was making presentations to the community,
Right.
and those happened.
Yeah, they did.
Just kind of checking the box here.
Okay,
If you're saying
And-
check 2 boxes, I think it would check 2 boxes.
And was well received.
Yeah, and the other thing I would say though is that we got, when we did those presentations, we got people to show up and be part of our budget conversation last year. Maybe it's time to do that again. I don't know.
I made the announcement at this last CAC meeting. Didn't have anybody raise their hand. But
How many people were at the meeting?
there was a lot.
Good.
Yeah, they're having a good showing. What, about 45 or something like that?
Yeah.
Compared to my 2.
Because we were specifically looking for budget people from Netarts rather than from Oceanside.
I know. That's the phone call. I'm working on it.
All right, so the next item was succession planning. As it states, concern was expressed by several board members about the process and who might succeed Dan as superintendent. So,
And board members
and board members.
and staff, just
Yeah.
in general.
So
Dan, how long were you?
he's gonna be here another 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the very earliest, most likely 60. Just so you know.
2068.
Yeah, 2068. Well, you're gonna have to throw me in a box. But, no, that's sometime in, I'll start to look at it at 60. It depends on my health and everything. And,
You have to volunteer your age because we're not allowed to ask it.
65 and a half.
So the reason I asked that is, that's,
2 years.
it's time to start
It is
thinking
time.
about, are you taking the spot?
Apply for it, yes.
We
Can't go there
can't
today.
that.
Going there. I'm just
There
saying.
you are.
Question was being recorded.
I strike my question from the, I retract my statement.
Okay,
It's important if Dan's close.
let's do it. Let's take it seriously. Some searches for executive directors and superintendents take 2 years. We're 2.5 years away now. We've just been advised less likely.
Theory, yes.
So we should actually start doing more than just saying, yeah, we're going to have to get around to that.
So on this item, what do we need? Do we need to try to do some planning? I mean, this was also a topic. Go ahead.
Well, I think do what we did before. We set up a subcommittee when we were designing what to do about the vacancy that we were going to fill. We set up someone to recommend a process to the board about how to fill it. And that process should be informed by any advice that SDAO can give us or experience that other places have had. Okay, who's replaced their superintendent lately? Who's been in our situation? Let's have a team responsible for doing outreach to find out what they did and suggestions and things like that. So my suggestion is form a subcommittee to explore coming up with a process to recommend to the board.
This was one of the presentations at the SDO conference that I attended. But it seemed like, and you attended also, and I think both of you attended, it appeared to me that she was kind of aiming at larger organizations where you might have 10 people that could be considered for certain jobs, and how do you groom them and so forth and so on. When you get into a small organization like ours or even smaller, the problem is a little bit different than just grooming and working people, and maybe they will fit a position or maybe they won't. But nevertheless, it's definitely an area we need to work on and address. I don't know, you said perhaps a subcommittee to start looking at some of this.
So when
I agree.
so Jim and I were on the subcommittee that hired Aaron as the office manager. And what we tried to do was to create a process that we could defend as we're hiring the best available person. So
Absolutely.
criteria, interview questions, whatever the process is, what it looks like. So I'm with Jerry that you know, we come up with a process, and you know, I mean, familiarity with this plant is.
Well, it's not just the plan, it's also the contact that the EQ.
Yeah.
That the lead operator as well as the superintendent have built.
Yeah.
And a relationship with them. Because if they trust you, it's a lot easier to get something done.
Yeah.
But the process goes beyond the technical hiring process.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Well,
involves a lot of things, finding the people,
you also
maybe
need,
they've been in the organization for a while.
you also need a good job description, and I don't know if we've revisited yours for a
Yeah,
while.
I think it's probably the same ones. but-
Okay, now, right now, what's happening is what a subcommittee would do.
Right, yeah,
So let's not do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we need to form a subcommittee. Absolutely. I have any takers?
Well, first of all, we've got some experience. Are you guys willing? And then,
I'm willing.
Come on.
So who?
you've got a lot on your plate. I'm not
Yeah.
pressing you.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of.
Yeah,
I think you have an obligation.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't.
Yeah, but you were really good at it.
We owed you the opportunity. Well,
He was really good at it.
and we've got what he did. We've got,
I know,
got it on paper,
so-
so we don't have to start from scratch and we can make use of
So
it.
2 board members and then,
Dan's
perhaps-
got to be on the committee.
excuse me?
Dan's got to be on it.
I'm not a board member, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, then it's our working group, but it's silly not to make use of your input as part of designing this process.
But part of their tasking is to look across the board at board members, staff, superintendent, the whole bit of the processes that we would use.
So you're talking about not just an executive search in this case, but a.
Correct.
Okay, well,
I would think-
that's what I was talking about. I was talking about, it's 2.5 years. We should probably set up our process for replacing him. And you're saying we also need a process for replacing board members and other things.
Well,
I
it
don't see
could
them
be a
as one.
subpart of what that subcommittee does. Or are we just gonna leave that on the side of the road?
Well, we already have a subcommittee that created a process where we replaced before. So we basically have a process and that can be looked at to see how it gets tweaked or applied to other kinds of things.
Okay.
That's valid, but I really think we also need to target the job that we're going to be looking at in 2.5 years. The specific as well as what you're talking about more generally.
And I think that we ought to have an agreement with board members that if it's time to leave, give, the board, for whatever reason, including health, that you let the district know so that they have some lead time to replace a board member. Just kind of like, that's part of the oath.
So we've got parallel discussions going here about what's the process we're going to use with looking for a candidate for Dan and what kinds of general principles do we need for replacing anybody?
Right.
As long as Rob.
A little bit of information, I don't have a hard date, so I'm just giving you a timeline. So I'm not giving you an exact hard date. Plus,
We're not showing you out.
plus,
Preserve your.
plus I'm not gonna go until we do have the position.
Yeah, it's sort of like
Thank you for that.
draining
That's big.
the sludge from the lagoon.
We're gonna go on that one.
Well,
I'm not gonna leave before you.
Is it always like Sharon?
Somebody.
Somebody thought.
That's what I was purposely doing.
But if something
I
does
wanted to be
come up,
married here, right, Dan? Okay.
if something were to come up, I think that the staff here is knowledgeable enough to keep the district running in case of an emergency if Dan is out for a long period of time, or if he has to retire early. The staff here can handle this place.
So the board is not gonna be under pressure if something was to happen to me tomorrow, you know, health wise or something, the district will still have time to fill it.
I have all the qualifications for DEQ requirements, so.
Okay.
That's good to know. I've wondered always about that. The nuts and bolts of if it,
We now have 3
We-
operators that are certified and recognized by DEQ to run the district.
really.
I don't know if you picked up on it, but
Simeon and Jerry,
Simeon's feeling like he's got enough on his plate.
so the 2 of you are,
I heard that the 2 of them were willing to do.
well, everybody's offered, I think. So
I didn't offer. But I wasn't offering. No,
I was taking my name.
he's taking his.
you're taking your name off,
Yeah.
If,
So-
if,
all right?
if that's possible, because I have a lot on my plate.
So I think what it looks like is, I apologize, this is an emergency call, but I will be happy to do it. I'll be right back.
Okay. So,
Hold on 2 seconds.
well, he's happy to do it. Jim,
I'm not that happy,
you're not happy.
but I'll work on it.
I think we should make use of.
So then I can
his experience
Jim and Jeff.
Yes.
and you.
Yeah.
So it's a working group, not a sub.
So-
because he's not a board.
What, in 60 days, come up with some progress?
Sure.
Sure,
Is that-
unless they want to meet
Well, I
and then
think
tell us what they need.
I think we need to come up with some basic guidelines.
Yeah.
That I think that the new candidate should be required to
Okay,
have.
60 days, good, or 30 days, or,
Whatever.
I mean, whatever you two decide, because the fire chief left the room.
Well, that's
He doesn't get a vote.
60 days would be two board meetings.
Okay. 60 days then?
Okay,
Why don't you and Jeff figure out a date and maybe we'll just meet up here and we'll come up with some
okay,
parameters that we want to do as requirements.
Yeah,
Okay.
principles
Do a
that are going to
draft.
guide
Yeah.
it and
Yeah.
time
Okay.
frames.
And then we'll review my job description to make sure it's up to date. I know it's 3 decades old, so we'll blow the dust off of it.
all right, sounds good.
And if you guys need help with something or.
Okay,
I was willing, I just wasn't, I was kind of monopolizing the discussion. I didn't want that to be taken as I wanted to like, do the process. You can,
60 days, the
60
let's
days.
see, April board meeting, May. About 60 days,
Yeah, so, but
something.
Jim and Jeff will,
No, but we report at the main.
Yeah.
Is there anybody on the board who's thinking of leaving?
I've got 3 more years.
I would think I was just reelected.
You were,
And
Jeff was, because you guys just got up your 2-year, you're in your 4-year.
Right.
And Jeff, and then Jerry re-up. So, and these two still have a whole nother year.
Yes. A year and 3 months
Yeah.
or
So
so.
who's counting?
And are you running again?
I don't know. Very possibly, but I don't know. I don't know where I'll be in a year and a half. Health or other thing, things like that.
Yeah.
You may remember I couldn't even talk. I was coughing so much, and I'm still
Yeah.
doing that medication thing. So,
you guys can't make me break in a new board member just before I retire. That's
Well,
unfair.
particularly a new board president. That would be really.
Well, we got you volunteers here to jump right in.
Really? Well, we just barely got it drained.
okay. The last item here,
Are we done? So we're done with them?
yes,
Okay.
item
And
this
I
is
think that-
remaining.
I think that's stage.
okay. The last item is board member expectations memo. So at I mentioned this probably very briefly in our board meeting, but one of the presentations I went to, they talked about board duties. Down at the bottom of one of the pages was a sample of what the folks at SDAO had prepared, which you also have here. Should have a draft somewhere at the back of some of the materials.
Yeah, right here.
And I basically looked at it, rewrote some portions, changed other portions to make it conceivably something that we might adopt in the future. If you want anything that thorough, it covers a lot of areas in their sample here. But my thought is, I don't know, board member expectations memo, it was a very short piece of paper that we had done that's also attached to this, that was the Netarts-Oceanside Sanitary District Board member duties. It's just nearly 2 pages. Maybe even one.
It's 2 pages.
2 pages. And it probably is not covered enough.
SDO also had this handbook on special district board members.
Right.
Which is,
But if you've had a chance to look at the draft, it's kind of more specific.
Yeah.
In a lot of areas. So I'm not saying, we need to decide anything today, but my thought is take a look at it and decide if this is something that we might want to adopt.
I looked it over. I thought it was thorough and
It covered a lot of material.
and no objections to it. I might have actually appreciated it when I got onto the board, in addition to the thumb drive I got that had a lot of stuff on it.
And sometime before, within the next year, I will redo the long list that I put on what is it? The computer, my chip
Oh, your thumb drive?
thumb drive
Yeah.
that listed all the things that kind of tie to us as best I can do that. And I would put something like this in that.
Yeah.
With perhaps a little emphasis that please take a look at it. If that's, so open that to comments, thoughts, whatever folks think. And even if you just look at the table of contents, you can get somewhat of an idea of what they had in mind. And like the agenda, I've changed that to be our agenda. They built theirs a little differently. And in other places, I built it more to be along the lines of how we have handled things. So, comments or thoughts?
You did a lot of work on this, didn't you?
Fair amount.
Yeah.
It's been a busy month. It was basically theirs, but
Modified it.
just modified.
Made locally relevant.
I tried. And of course, anything you see that you're concerned about or doesn't make sense or ought to be changed, please input it.
So from your sense, if we wanted to go with this, we'd bring it up as an agenda item at the board meeting and adopt it formally. Is that?
Yes. With a resolution. Yeah.
So you want to put that on the agenda for the April meeting?
That's whatever the consensus of the group is.
Can I recommend we bring it up at a board meeting and introduce the subject publicly? It's a significant document. And then say it's going to be acted upon at the following board meeting.
Okay.
I haven't had time to look at this. I'd like more time, so I'm not prepared to vote on adopting it right now.
Yeah.
And I don't,
Right.
so I guess maybe tonight's board, meeting, you could.
Just bring it up, say that,
That's gonna be, we'll get
it's-
action on it.
put it out there for comment,
Did we get suckered in? Yes. Okay.
pending adoption at the next board meeting.
Suckered in, copy.
Dan's on the committee with me.
All right, perfect.
So if you refer to page 17 specifically, there's restrictions on the police chief. Be a fire chief,
Mm.
just kidding.
I wish.
What's this about cookies?
More cookies.
We are talking about this document.
Okay.
And the idea is to bring it up and this evening and probably under new business and look at it pending adoption at the following month's board meeting, if any changes, modifications or other things. This is,
That was one question I had, and this is only because we're going through a situation right now in our district, but have we updated recently things like sexual harassment policies, things like that? When was the last time things like that were updated? 'Cause we were way out of
Did we
compliance.
do that three years ago?
it,
Something like that.
yeah, it's been just several years. We could check and see, but it seems like we did something.
There are a ton of new things that my attorney was like, oh my God, I can't believe you haven't fixed this. So that may be, it's totally unlegal, but they sent me kind of an emergency like packet of, okay, this needs to be presented at the board meeting as part of like an emergency addition to the policy manual. So we did that, but that was the big thing was our personnel.
Yeah, but
Personnel policies were way out.
this is, in a sense, is something a little bit different. This is board duties
Oh,
and
sorry.
responsibilities. It
Okay.
is not
Still,
that-
still a good issue to raise.
Yeah,
but highly relevant, but you're talking into the personnel policies area more than board policies.
and I don't know
I
that
think-
there, unless there've been some changes through the state, like Robert's Rules of Orders and things like that.
So this is the model that, and I left it down in the bottom left-hand corner. This is basically the model that SDAO put out, and it was updated last year. And I modified it to fit
Us.
our organization.
You know, you're gonna put it on the agenda then for tonight.
I don't, you guys will have to amend
Okay.
the agenda and then I can,
Which we can do.
which
We can-
then I will do it at that point in time, but.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So,
In that, okay, so I can ask tonight, are there any
your
areas,
offer,
tonight, when you raise it, could you offer any specific areas that you really want us to focus on that you felt uncertain about?
you mean things that are different?
That, well, this is
Or
all.
just
to the
kind of
town too.
generally, okay.
But, yeah, something like this, that you had, as you were doing it, maybe you were kind of of two minds, or there was obviously a significant policy choice to be made, and you just went one or the other, but
Some of it was filling in their blanks.
yeah, I guess
Some of it was doing other things. But
just looking for help on where you'd like specific attention, since you've already put some thought to it.
the next, that finishes the items from the prior workshop. The next item to go into is the emergency planning. And maybe we could take another 5 or 10 minute break and then get into some of those materials. So if we want to adjourn for a few minutes, it's 3:20.
Okay.